All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Conception, and I am here with a doozy of a game to cap off the silly block. This is Garbage Pail Kids, subtitle, Mad Mike and the Quest for Stale Gum. That's a lot. It's a lot of title. Before we even get started with anything, I wanted to say thank you all so much for donating towards Go Iowa to make this bonus game a reality. I'm very thankful. Thank you so much for making that happen. And obviously the money is going towards a great cause. So you're all very generous.
It is one Iowa, by the way.
I'm sorry, one Iowa. It's been a long day.
No, you're good. I know that you had something else right before this. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's been a day. I apologize. One Iowa, yes. Money towards a great cause. And thank you so much to everyone who donated to make this bonus game a reality. Now, Garbage Pail Kids. What is it? It's an IP that was created back in the late 80s-ish that was meant to kind of mock and make fun of things like Cabbage Patch Kids and stuff like that, which if you are below a certain age, you probably don't know what any of this means, and that's fine. But what this game is, this is actually a game I'm playing on the NES controller here for proof, playing on the NES, but this is a game that actually came out last year for the first time. So as a game, it's from I Am 8-Bit. If you've ever ordered any like physical games from them, they were the publisher of this game. It's available on modern consoles as well, but they did a special printing of official working NES cartridges. So I'm actually playing on the NES for you, a 2022 game on the NES. So I think that's pretty neat. It's a 2D platformer. Has a lot of fun mechanics in it that we're not going to see at all. So there's like the card, you can get the Garbage Pail Kid cards in the game and trade them and with NPCs and stuff. We're not going to be doing any of that. You won't see it, but it is there. So there's a lot to do for collectibles and things like that. But we're going to be scooting through this game as fast as possible. So I think with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to quick start here. Not timing yet. So you can see 4 difficulties here: Tourist, Easy, Normal, and Hard. We're going to be playing on Tourist, which is the easiest difficulty. You can see it has a little infinity symbol with hearts next to it. So the infinity symbol with hearts, or the 8 with hearts, 4 with hearts, 1 with hearts, these are the amount of hits that you could take before your character loses life. So what this means is that I can take as many hits as I want from enemies and not lose any characters. The reason why we play on Tourist and the reason why it's fastest, beyond the fact that we can just take a billion hits and not really die, is because we can utilize these hits for a lot of damage abuses. And those damage abuses usually end up like propelling us or shooting us forward. So this makes this category the fastest when you don't have to navigate how many hits that you can take. So that is the reason why we play on the Tourist difficulty. That being said, I am not completely safe. Just because I can take all these hits does not mean that I can't die. I still can die, actually, by falling off the edge, misplatforming, misjumping, things like that. Still plenty of opportunity for me to die. It is not an ultimately safe game. It's a 2D platformer, which, if you know me or have been in my streams before, you know that I am, 1, notoriously bad at 2D platformers, and 2, very scared of 2D platformers. So I'm a little nervous for this one. Might go a little quieter than I normally do on some of my other runs that I have a little bit more confidence in. So we're gonna do it though. Timing is gonna start as soon as I select the difficulty. So without further ado, let's get the grossness underway, shall we? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so general lore, as much as I know at least. So there's 4 different characters here. So this game kind of functions very similarly to Super Mario Bros. 2, in which you can play as 4 different characters that all kind of operate differently and have different movement patterns, weapons, attacks, whatever, what have you. We are going to use 3 of them in the run pretty consistently. One of them is actually completely useless. That is, I'm gonna butcher their names, so I apologize. I believe. I don't remember. I always call this character Pukey. Pukey has like some of the lowest jump range, as well as a projectile vomit attack, but the vomit does not go very far. So it's not useful for damaging, and it's not useful for platforming, so we tend not to use that character much. The character I'm running right now is called Mike, Mad Mike of Mad Mike and the Quest for Stale Gum. You might have been able to put that together on your own. But we will be switching characters soon after the next screen. If I can platform this section correctly, we'll get our first instance of damage abuse right here. So if I jumped into the bottom of that enemy, you can see it kind of propelled me upwards and forwards. It's definitely a faster way to move, and for some key areas, there's another damage boost there actually. It might be useful for getting to places that are a little bit unreachable if things go a little bit sour. I believe this character's name is Patty. Patty's like a weird baby that makes all these weird faces. You can just see as I'm moving around, he's like doing all these funky things. I don't know. I don't fully know the lore myself of these individual characters, but what makes Patty individually interesting is that Patty has the highest jumps, and he's the only character that you can jump on enemies' heads to destroy, which we utilize a lot for platforming reasons as well as damage boost reasons, like this. So how damage boosting works in this game as well. So as you can see, if I hit enemies, I propel forward, but it actually matters where in the enemy hitbox you hit for the propelling forward to happen. You can't hit them on the, like say I'm going right, like I am right now, you can't hit the enemy on the left side. You can only hit them on the right side if you want to be propelled in that direction. So you have to be careful of where you hit them. And sometimes it matters not only what side you hit them, but the direction you're moving itself. In order to get propelled, or else you might just kind of stall out in the like a neutral zone and not get propelled at all, which in totality ends up being slower. This room in particular always makes me laugh because there's so many like platforms and things above. You know, there's probably like collectibles and stuff up there that you can grab, but like the easiest and fastest way to do that is just to stay on the ground and walk, and just kind of dodge enemies. So that's a funky little room. Let's see if I'm gonna take that a little marathon safe there. Usually you can bounce right off that enemy and clear the gap, but sometimes if you don't time it out correctly, you can fall to your death, which I am gonna actively try to avoid. This is a somewhat slow platforming section, or at least it can be. But with Patty, again, I think that's the character's name, these sections get a little bit faster as we bounce up enemies and use them as platforms. Alright, we're going to try to move through this room fast because we have those people in the background who like to throw things at us. Enemies are kind of funky in this game. They are thematic to levels, but oh no! Oh wait, no, this is fine. I thought we were gonna fall to our death. That's okay. They're thematic to the levels, but the enemies kind of transcend the themes sometimes. But anyway, here's our first boss, a giant little girl dinosaur thing. And there's actually a way to quick kill this boss even faster than I'm doing right now. But I'm gonna take this a little bit marathon safe because it can be a little bit dangerous and a little bit harder to execute, but there you are, first boss down. Why this game is called Mad Mike and the Quest for Stale Gum, by the way, is because each boss has an ingredient to make literally stale gum. To make stale gum. And for some reason, because Mike and they're garbage pail kids and they like gross stuff, that is what Mad Mike is after. He wants to find the perfect piece of stale gum. So he fights all of these garbage pail kid related bosses, I guess, to get these nasty ingredients like toe jam and I don't know, other stuff. Oh boy, that's fine. The reason why actually that is not fine. I need Mike for this boss fight. That's okay. We're gonna bounce back. We'll be okay. We'll make it work. So yeah, as you can see, you can swap between characters at will, which is really good. That being said, for speed purposes, there's usually one character that is the fastest way to defeat a boss. For example, on this level, you actually want Mike to defeat the boss in this level. So the fact that once you lose a character, you can know, like, if you have a character die, you cannot use that character again for the rest of this level. So I'm in a little bit of dire straits, but I'm going to see if I can make it work with another character. I actually do. So by default, you actually get a couple of Garbage Pail Kids collector's cards that give you special power-ups in the game. I have one that is Revive One Kid, but I'm going to try not to use that so soon, if I can avoid it. It's particularly because the last level in this game is a little bit unforgiving. So I'm going to try to hold on to it if I can, but if I need to do it or I can't figure out a good way to defeat the boss in this level, then I will use it if I have to. I love that little screen, by the way, that transition. You can just fall from the top all the way through to the next screen, all the way through to the next screen. Kind of neat. Yeah, I've talked a lot. There's a lot of Garbage Pail Kid knowledge in this game, but Now is kind of a little bit of a chiller time. If we happen to have any messages or donations or anything like that, Helix, my good pal, now is a good time.
Oh, now I get to talk a lot. Let's go.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out once again our next in-person marathon, Midwest Speedfest 2024. It will take place at the Crown Plaza Minneapolis West in Minnesota on April 19th through 21st as part of VGMCon Sunshine Resort. And you can go book your tickets now at vgmcon.org. We would love to see you there. Our in-person marathons are an absolute blast. I may be a little biased, but still, check it out.
Yes, absolutely. Can vouch. Been to a number of in-person Midwest Speedfest events, and they are always a blast. So definitely vouch if you can make it out there, or if you happen to be in the area. Definitely come on by. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit. There's a couple of tricky platforming sections here. I'm gonna do a little bit of focus time. Oh, got nervous on that one. All right, that's one tricky room. There we go. We got another one right here. It's a little less tricky, but you can see how narrow these platforms are. Which always gives me a little bit of anxiety. Okay, we're fine. One last room of this. Let's see if we can maintain. Woo! Alright, we're fine. Alright, now I do have to figure out a good way to defeat this boss. We're gonna try to go Snot Rocket here, see how that goes. Yeah, I think this character's name is Lindsay or something, if I remember correctly. So we're going Snot Rocket here. Oh, got a hold of me. Yeah, this is like a Godzilla baby of the sewer. Yeah, that's my best explanation for that. Godzilla baby of the sewer. I wish I had more for you. So these projectiles that Snot Rocket Lindsay has are pretty strong. Glad I was able to figure this out, actually. But they're not as strong as Mike's axe and sword swings. So I would have defeated that boss a little bit quicker with Mike, but that was a pretty good recovery attempt, so I will take it. And we got to save our Revive a Kid card for another later section. This level, this is Egypt, so far we've been in the Stone Age, we've been to Tokyo 1985, and now we're in Egypt 3000 BC. We're traveling all across time and space to collect the ingredients for this nasty, nasty gum. This level is probably the safest. Actually, this might be the second safest level of all of them. There are very few spots I can die here because I don't take damage from enemies, and there are only a few spots in which you can fall off, most of which are pretty well protected. So this tends to be a little bit of a safer level, but you can see, you can see the garbage pail charm on display. Sphinxes puking, and birds pooping on you, and mummies throwing toilet paper, and yeah, this is the Garbage Pail Kids. If this is an IP that you're familiar with, you'll know this is exactly in line with typical Garbage Pail Kid type stuff.
Shout out to Give Me Toilet Paper from earlier.
Yes, yes. I love that run, by the way. It's so good.
That run was so good.
Yes, it's so good. I happened to run a hotfix show on the GDQ channel called Awfully Silly, so as you can imagine, I definitely have an affinity for the awful silly block. And I have had the pleasure of having Give Me Toilet Paper on my show before, and it was, as it was today, it is a blast. It's just so much fun. Okay, so we got a little maze section here. Here's going to be a good indication of a damage boost here based off of ground trajectory. If I'm heading left and I hit a ground spike like that, I get propelled. But, let's see, I'll show. Heading to the right, I don't get propelled. I actually stay forward or get pushed back, so that's a little bit slower. But you'll see us use those mechanics in full effect in the next level, Transylvania. All right, down here we go. A little tricky here. We're going to try and navigate across these stairs somewhat quickly. Then we're going to try and double bounce these enemies and hit the switch in one without touching the mermaid. Successful. And then navigate back up these. This is actually more deceptive than it looks because some of these stairs, I don't know if it's intended to be like kind of tricky or if it's, the hitboxes on the stairs are kind of small, but you can just fall through some of those stairs. So you have to be a little bit careful when you navigate those. That is a good example of a damage boost right there as well. Alright, this can be a little bit of a tricky room to do fast, but not tricky in terms of I might die. Let's see if we can keep our momentum going. That one's good. And this, oh wait, no, not this one. Next, couple rooms from now. Damage boost. We're gonna get a second damage boost from a projectile cactus here. Boom, damage boost. you can see why doing it on Tourist is the way to do it from a speedrun perspective. There we go. Cool. In this room, you actually want to preemptively jump into the next room so you don't run into that wall and avoid the puking sphinx. But here we go. We're going to fight a baby Cyclops. And again, Mad Mike is the way to go for this one. Cool, that was a pretty quick kill. All these bosses have quick kills if you can execute them, and that one was one of the quick kills. Getting it in 2 phases is kind of ideal. Cool. Alright, Transylvania. So this game has a total of 6 levels, by the way, and we're already on the 4th level, so we're making pretty good time. Transylvania, if I time this correctly, I will get a complete room skip. So let's see if I timed it correctly. We should see 2 birds flying out in the next screen if I did it. Yes! Beautiful. So that is a room skip. This level has the most exploits in the game in terms of cheese in the game a little bit. Oh, actually, we need to go up here. So that is the first cheese that we're able to successfully execute, but there will be more. Don't worry. But yeah, you see puke, bats, blah blah blah, classic garbage pail kid stuff. This next room, let's see, this is the tricky jump to get without, that jump ain't gonna happen. You can cheese it very carefully, and like really wedge yourself in between the spider and the staircase there. But it has a very precise jump, but that's okay. It only wastes like a second or so to not get it. And then here is a classic example of using the ground as a projectile to move you forward faster. I was moving left, so I knew, since I'm on Tourist, that I can just walk on those spikes. And not have to not only worry about damage, but because I was moving left, I will get some nice forward momentum, which is really, really good. But as you enter the next room, you'll see here in a few moments, if you're heading right, you do not get that same momentum. So let's see if we can show that here in a second. We're going to jump down here. See how it kind of keeps you in place, which is not ideal. So you don't want to be doing that to the right, just to the left. You can see behind us, there's portraits of a vampire. That's actually going to be the boss of this level. Spoiler alert. Is a Dracula vampire character who's obsessed with dolls, I believe. Nope. I knew I was going to get denied by that bat. Should have waited. Oh, it denied twice. Oh, wait. I made it. Nice. Alright, we're going to head up here. Okay, so in this level, this room that we're going to just fall as far down and as fast as possible. We need to get to the lowest level. And then we're going to use the top spikes as a damage boost to propel us forward. It's the fastest way to clear that. Got a little room with another switch in here. Dodge Frankenstein. Nice try, Frankenstein. And in this room, we have to be a little bit, we have to be a little bit careful with our jumps. So we're not hitting the top spikes because we're heading right. We will lose momentum. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible. I'm not doing a great job of it, but we did clear it, so that's fine. Gotta be careful on this jump too. You want to take that a little light. I'm gonna take that safety bop with that little baby werewolf, I think is what that is. Okay, so in this next room, it's another room of staircases and portraits and whatnot, but there is a nice, really cool cheese in this level that I believe was discovered by Mortimer Nova, another runner of this game, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can get it. We're gonna hop down here. Okay, so there's going to be a couple platforms, and I'm going to try to wedge myself between the floor and the stairs on this section. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there you go. That skips a good section of the maze and gets me into this room faster. Now, granted, this room is kind of brutal. I'm going to be playing this extra safe. This is one of the rooms that I die the most in during speedruns, so I'm going to be playing this room a little bit safe, playing a little bit of focus time here. I'm actually going to switch to Mike so I can hold on to Patty in case I need Patty later on, but also Mike has powerful weapons so I can hit some of these enemies away a little easier so they won't troll me as much. Beautiful. That is exactly how you want that room to go. Whew, I was sweating that room a little bit, but it went fine. Went fine. I'm going to switch back to Patty here. Great. Okay, so now this next room is full of conveyor belts, some of which favor you and some of which don't. You ideally want Patty here because Patty has this like quick jump pattern that he can do by pressing and holding B. And that is the quickest way to navigate on conveyor belts that are working against you. You can jump with the other characters as well, but the jumps are longer and therefore the movement is slower. So we wanted to try to hold on to, I went the wrong way. Wanted to try to hold on to Patty as much as we possibly could here, which we were able to do successfully, so that's nice. Nice quick hops. Jump on here. Before we get to the boss, there's not too much in terms of danger here, so we won't need to pay too close of attention. Helix, if we have any other donations, messages, plugs, anything, we got some time for it now.
I don't have any donations. What's going on with that? Y'all need to fix this. Exclamation point donate. Donate.MidwestSpeedfest.com. We got plenty of incentives open for you. Give you all a quick rundown. There is the game bid war. Arcania CQ can run Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine or Kirby's Avalanche, a little Puyo Puyo like bid war for you. There's the SSX Tricky Character bid war. Junior will play as Elise, Kaori, Mac, or Zoe as decided by your donations. And then of course the bonus track showcase also for SSX Tricky. 2 very cool tracks that would not otherwise be shown off. Get your donations in.
Absolutely. I know you all were crushing it in terms of donations in order to get this bonus game met. I know you do appreciate it, but we got other incentives that need to be met, folks. All for one iOS, so let's get your donations in. Here becomes the boss fight. This actually has a quick kill. Let's see if we can do it. We're going to be using Lindsay here, I think is her name, for projectiles. Lindsay can only have 2 projectiles on the screen at once unless they hit something, and then I can cheese them as much as possible, like this. Mashing, mashing, mashing before we get to the next phase. Nice. Beautiful. Love to see it. And as usual, every level ends with a little fart. That's how you know it's Garbage Pail Kids. Alright, so this level, Mars 2050, is the safest level because if I'm not mistaken, there's actually nowhere I can die. So I'm a little bit safe here. But it's the hardest level to do kind of fast because we're on Mars, gravity works differently here. So navigate, oh wow, I'm getting really fortuitous platforming here. Navigating through it is a little bit trickier. Oops, there goes the fortuitous platform. That's fine. There's also these UFO characters that if you don't avoid or take out, we will tend to suck you up and try to take them to your leader if they will. In reality, they just damage you. But we are trying to avoid them to not stall our momentum as much as possible. There's a little trash can below this platform here that you might have seen. That is an example of a collectible. It's probably a Garbage Pail Kid collector card of some sort. I don't need them, not going to be grabbing them. Maybe I'll do a 100% category at some point, but today is not that day. Alright, this platform section is a little tricky to do fast. Let's see if we can get it. Nope, that's fine. If you time it correctly, you can time a bounce off of that UFO to get to the platform that much easier. The green area below me, by the way, it all slows you down. So you want to try to bounce off of enemies as much as possible or jump as much as possible so that you avoid getting slowed down. I had some mixed success with that. First section was really good. Second section, not so much. Some tricky, not in this one. Next room has some tricky platforming that I got to time out carefully. Let's see, make sure I can do that. Oops. I'm gonna actually wait there, wait for that projectile. And if I can, got a coyote frame this jump here. Let's see. There we go. Coyote frame that to skip the longer part of that section. And then in the next room, we're actually going to use the, hopefully the only Garbage Pail collector card that we will use for the whole run, which is the Take Flight card. This lets me skip most of the challenge that is present in this room by not having to platform around it, which is kind of ideal. Otherwise, you have to wait for like very specific cycles and very tiny platforms. Not only is that slow, it's difficult. So we use the fly card there in order to skip that. And that fly card is given to you by default, so it's not something you have to collect or something like that. It's everyone who would play this game would have that. Also, shout out to the this station, which is called Anus, apparently. Was gonna bypass it, but couldn't resist the joke. All right. Going to this next section here. This section is pretty simple. We're gonna just bounce off this alien. Boop. Want a quick bounce off of it though to not hit the ceiling and waste a lot of time. Boom into this next section here. See if we can get some fortuitous bouncing. Nah, I missed the top one. That's fine. But then we're going to go into the boss fight of this level, which is a some kind of alien with like multiple eyeballs. We're going to again use Lindsay for that because she can hit from the projectile. It's also useful. There's a UFO that does try to aggravate you and absorb you like that, but it actually benefits us a lot of times because it keeps us higher when the platform that I'm on is trying to shrink us lower. I did get knocked off there, so that did lose us a little time, but not the end of the world. There we go. Okay. We are entering the last level, which is called Hell. Timeline Eternity. Hell is has some of the hardest platforming sections in this game. So I will tell you when they're coming out. Actually, this next room is a little bit difficult, so I'm going to go a little bit... Oh, not this one. The room after this is a little bit difficult, so I'm going to go a little bit serious mode here. Alright, got knocked back, but not enough to knock me off the platform. Oh, bummer. Okay, so that is a good example as to why this is a tough platform level. We get to see useless Patty here. I'm gonna actually full on wait and see if we can. Cool, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, useless Pukey here. As you can see, platforming is somewhat limited. But, alright, these rooms are pretty safe, so I'm gonna use Patty here. Patty not only, again, with the large jumps, I have not timed it out, but I think has the fastest base movement speed, too. So when at all possible, you want to try to use this character, not only for platforming, but for moving. Lindsay also moves pretty quickly, so they're definitely comparable, but when at all possible, you want to use Patty. This room is fine. I believe the next room is really hard. Focus time. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna wait. Yes, okay. That's one of the hard rooms. That's two of the hard rooms in this one down. One more to go. I'm gonna keep using Patty here. Take some damage boosts here to try and project myself forward a little bit. Here's another hard room. I'm definitely playing this a little safer than I would in like a PB or a world record attempt for this game. For multiple reasons. I don't want to die. I don't want to have to restart a level. If you lose all characters, so if you lose all the kids die, that was the last hard room. If all characters die, you have to restart the level from scratch, and these levels can be quite long. They can be up to like 4 or 5 minutes long, so you want to avoid that. There's one really key skip here that I'm hoping to get in this coming Hotel Hades section here. Let's see if we can get it. It's in this next room here. If I go through a hole in the ceiling, you know I've made it. Heck yeah, let's go. Alright, that's it. That saves us a whole like room and long platforming section. If I had to guess, roughly like 30 to 45 seconds. So getting that is clutch, and you also need Patty to do it. So if I had Patty knocked out or something, I probably would have tried to revive Patty even. Well, that's fine. We don't need Patty for this. I probably would have tried to revive Patty to make it so that skip is doable. We no longer need Patty here. We only need Lindsay to defeat the devil, who's the final boss, like a hot sauce devil. You know how you like hot sauce in your stale gum, right? That's everybody, I hope. Okay, final boss is coming up. Has the quickest kill of all if we can execute, but requires the most matching. So let's see if we can get it in one phase. So we're gonna dodge that little here. Cool. That's what you want. Let's go. Quick kill. Time is coming up. Whew. I'm sweaty. And time. Whew. All right. as you can see, my estimate was probably closer to a 32-minute mark, which was really safe, not only for my anxiety about 2D platformers, but also if I happened to have completely botched a level, I would have had time to completely redo one. But luckily enough, we did not need that. So I am very glad that this run went as well as it did. 25:42 for record is only like, I think it's less than 10 seconds off of my PB.
Oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah, I think my PB is a 25:35, if I remember. My official PB. I was doing practice unrecorded today, and I actually PB by accident. But
and this is right after you just ran a completely different game for another event.
Yes, yep. It's been a long day, but it's been a great day. Yeah, I'll give a few shout outs here. Thank you so much to Midwest Speedfest, the crew, the games committee, and everybody involved for having me on. I've mentioned this at past events before, but Mid-Fall Speedball 2018, 19, I think, was the first marathon I ever ran. And I'm approaching 125 marathon runs now. So I really am always thankful for Midwest Speedfest specifically for help giving me a start into speedrunning, marathons, gaming for good, that kind of thing. I'm always very thankful that they allow me to come back and play some good games or some questionable games like this one or whatever they have me for. I'm always thankful for that. So thank you all so much for having me. In terms of other plugs, one, keep watching this marathon, keep donating. Such a terrific cause for one, Iowa. I believe I got it right this time. And we have other bonus games, we have other incentives. Continue to donate, continue to make those happen. You all have been so generous, but we hope that you are able to continue to do so. If you like awful/silly games, I run a GDQ hotfix show. I mentioned this earlier, called Awfully Silly. So my elevator pitch is, we take your favorite section of mainline GDQ events, which is naturally, of course, the awful and silly block, but we put it in prime time every other Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, so that you don't have to stay up till midnight or later to watch your favorite awful or silly block runs. So come on by and check us out.
Vouch,
if you like
vouch.
Yeah, if only Helix ran bad games for once, then I would have them on my show more often. But Helix runs
the bad game that I tried to run ended up being a really good speedrun.
Yeah, sometimes
shout out Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure. If you know, you know.
I do know. I tried to run it a couple times myself, so I know that run. But yeah, come on by, come and check. I stream occasionally, I guess. I haven't streamed in months, but twitch.tv/conception if you're interested. I'll try to stream a little bit more often, especially since the games list dropped for AGDQ tonight, and I got a run in. I'm going to be running Sneak King, Burger King game, for AGDQ 2024. So I'm sure I'll be practicing leading up to that. So hopefully I'll get some more streams in.
It's always a pleasure to have you, Conception. We are honored to be your first marathon, and we are honored that you continue to come back and continue to do great runs for us. Thank you so much. Any last words?
Oh, yes, yeah. Go to Midwest Speedfest in person in April if you can. I'm going to try my best if schedule allows, because I love being there. I love hanging with this crew. I love hanging with all of you. So go to BGMCon if you are able. I think that's it, though. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for donating to make this game happen. Thank you for playing Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the Quest for Sale. And thank you for having me. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Conception. Stick around. We have Wizard 101 coming up next.